Back to another live stream here. Um, going to go over a couple of things this morning, looking at the earnings, the economic calendar, and what I see on the SPY and on the Qs for this coming week, and what we should be aware of for this coming week. So I'm going to wait here for a minute until more people filter on in. Feel like I'm coming down with something. I don't know. If you guys have kids out there, you know how it is. Although I shouldn't blame the kids if I do end up getting sick. We had a very busy weekend, a lot of parties, stuff like that, just packed. Went to a concert on, when was it? Friday night, I think. So, yeah, just living life. It is what it is. So, we have earnings season starting this week on Friday with all the banks. So, the banks and Delta. Delta will be that first airlines to report, and the banks. And we want to know what those banks have to say. All right. One of the biggest ones is JP Morgan Chase. Jamie Dimon, what he says is always a market mover. So we're going to be very interested in that. And it's going to set the stage for earnings season. So these are the earnings here. I'm going to go to the economic calendar right over here. On Thursday, CPI, everyone, write that down. CPI on Thursday. And I'm going to go over a couple other things because we do have some Fed speakers talking. And I don't know if this is accurate, but on Monday it says, which is today, 12:30, it's got Bostic speaking. So we'll double check that. On Tuesday, we have Powell. I know he's definitely speaking on Tuesday. I have to check the exact time for that because it says 4:30 here in Sweden. I'm not sure if that is accurate or not. It says 8 a.m. He's also going to be talking. So let's check the other economic calendar while we're at it. All right, hang on one second. All right, here we go. So the economic calendar here says, yeah, 12:30 we have Bostic speaking, and daily at 12:30. 11 a.m. the Fed inflation expectations. Be aware of this type of stuff. And then consumer credit, seeing how the credit cards and seeing how consumer credit is holding up at 3 o'clock. That could be pretty decent. So let's watch all this stuff. And then it says 9 a.m. here on Tuesday, Powell will be speaking. There's probably going to be headlines, though, I'm assuming before that, because he's going to be speaking before 9 a.m. Wednesday, it says nothing scheduled on the economic calendar. And then Thursday, more Fed talk, CPI, initial jobless claims, all coming out at the same time. So will Thursday be very volatile? Yeah, there'll be definitely opportunity there to scalp, right? To be in and out, make some money quickly. Not getting greedy, just taking some quick wins if you're, trading during that time, because the market does whip up, it whips down, it goes all over the place. All right, so that's the economic calendar. Looking at the charts, we're going to start with the SPY here because this is what I see forming. A very clear bear flag. This is a bear flag setting up on the daily chart. You have resistance above, You have the point of control right here in this box. You could see the volume profile. You could see that vacuum here, which is where the market is right now. It's trying to get into that vacuum to fill this gap up to the point of control where there's a lot of volume and there's going to be resistance. So that's what we're looking at right now. I cannot get bullish this stock market until we break above the 200 moving average and this downtrend line. Eventually it will happen. Eventually the downtrend line will be broken. It's just a matter of timing. And timing markets, as you all know, is extremely difficult to do. And that's why I like to look at the daily chart. It gives me the best probability of where I see that support and resistance, because that's how the market's traded. All right. You don't want to be going long into resistance. If you want to go long the market, you want to at least wait until that resistance starts to get eaten away and then eventually gets broken. Or on a break, a retest of that level, and then get long. But going long straight into resistance is probably not the best idea. Same thing for going short. Going short into support is probably not the best idea. You're going to want to wait and see if that breaks down a little bit. All right, so this is the SPY. This is what I see here on the daily chart. Like I said, I can't get bullish until we break out of this, until that happens. This is a bear flag. And I'll just show you guys actually while we're at it. I'm going to show you exactly what a bear flag looks like. That's the diagram of a bear flag. All right. So you could be making higher highs and higher lows, but when you're coming down from a place of above, resistance and, lack of demand up there, supply zone, it tends to break on down. So that is what we're looking at on the daily chart. It's just a pattern. Doesn't mean that these patterns have to work every single time. It is just the way it is. What's going on, Rob? So, we'll take a look over here at the Qs coming up next. We got 12 minutes to the bell. All right. Now, this one is super, super, super dangerous. It is very good that it held support. But if this breaks support, and the key word here is if, you don't want to go in with a bias and take a trade too early. All right. If you're swing trading, especially if you're trading options, you're really going to want to wait until the market shows you where it is headed. And right now, it's just not going anywhere. The Qs are up against resistance. There's a lot of overhead resistance here. The point of control is right around this level here. So there's still room to move up for the Qs. There is. But if we break here, the lack of volume, and I'm going to go out 3 years on this, take a look at this lack of liquidity right here. This huge, huge area where it could just get sucked into like a vacuum, right? There's no support here until 220. So you have 220 being support. This is what I see here by the volume. You can even say support can start right there with this first volume bar. So there's a good way down if the Qs break that support. So on the weekly, this is the weekly, the support is around 260. You can see here I have alerts set. If we break, I would be getting short just about every single high flying valuation tech stock, because they're going to all take a very, very big hit if we break support on the Qs. And it's just a matter of time before this just gets sucked up here with the lack of liquidity, the lack of support until you get down to these pre-COVID levels. That's just what the chart is telling me. You have overhead resistance right up here, the point of control. It's very tough for me at this point to get bullish. You can see bounces, right? You can see bounces, obviously, because we're bouncing at support. But how much more room do you really have here? So I'm, cautiously trading, and my bias is definitely neutral to bearish. Neutral for the time being, because that is a nice, weekly candle on both the SPY and the Qs. You can't ignore that. That is a great candle. And, on the daily chart, that's an excellent candle on Friday that we have. So, I have to trade what's in front of me. And right now, neutral. That's where I'm at. Where I could see way more downside than upside. All right, so what do we have here? 9 minutes to the bell. I took one trade so far on the MES, which is the micro. I'm going to take this volume off. All right, so I took a trade here in the pre-market because I have a level on ES. And let's just go over here to this. So I was looking at this on ES. Make this bigger so you guys can see. This 3940 area was definitely a spot that I was looking for a pullback. So when price ran up to within a point of that area, I got in short, added to my position, and that's how I made a quick $38 with just two contracts. So I got in here at the highs, 38. I didn't catch this entire move. I'll see if this shows the trades because I had to take my daughter out to the bus stop right at this time. So I just got out. I got out of my position here. I said, I'm going to lock in gains, and I'm glad I did because now look, the market is rallying back up. So, this is just taking advantage of a quick scalp, a quick move, a quick directional change in the market. You saw on the 5-minute chart, you had 5 straight green candles coming up to resistance, and I felt like that was a higher probability scalp, and it was for this time being. It worked. So that was a good trade there. A nice start to the open. And looking at this with 6 minutes to the bell, that's where we're at. We're right here at that level of resistance on the ES. So we'll see how the market reacts to that. So far, it's just hanging up there at resistance. But that's a lot of volume here. It's a big, big volume bar. But we had a big volume bar back here too. So if the SPY opens up here, it's going to be opening over the 50-day moving average, which is currently at 389.60. If that holds up, it's a clear shot to 392. So there could be an opportunity there to either scalp to the upside or wait for resistance and then take the market short. but we just got to wait. Let's see what happens. Let the charts tell you instead of trying to trade that bias. Something I did wrong on Friday, and I shouldn't say I did anything wrong. I did take the market short at resistance. The only thing that I didn't do right, I didn't wait for that confirmation. I got in too early and it didn't work out. So, you know, it is what it is. Try to get some good entries, but really try to wait until there's a clear sign, especially in a strong trend like we saw on Friday. We didn't see anything really negative. I mean, it just trended the whole day. So there was really no reason to get in short. Trade with the trend. All right, guys, so we have about 3 minutes to the bell. I'm going to end the live stream here. I hope everyone has a great day. Trade safe, trade smart. Hit the thumbs up for the video. If you're new, subscribe. We have new videos just about every day. If you haven't checked out my weekly watch list video, go in there and take a look at that. If you want to join us in our Discord, you're more than welcome. The link will be in the description for that as well. All right, guys, take care, everyone.